I've watched a lot of Chicago Bears football games in the last 5 years, and that was one of them. Bears lose 38-13 to the 49ers in Thomas Brown's debut. 7 straight losses, new coach, same slow start, same sloppiness, same shitty team that makes us all as Bears fans and people who watch this team every week just want this season to end. I mean, what a train wreck this team has become. It really is remarkable. We're going to get into it all, my thoughts on this game and just big picture where this team is. Grade the Bears today, this effort, this performance. I mean, it's got to be an F. You get down 24-0 at halftime, had some energy in the second half, but, I mean, it's like this team forgets it's a 60-minute game. It's one of the worst first-half teams I've ever seen, but completely blown out. It's got to be an F for effing failure. 49ers get back on track with the win. Not a good performance all the way around for Chicago. I don't even really know where to start, really, other than if you're Thomas Brown and, he's said all the right things. He's, looked the part in terms of, how to communicate, all that stuff. I'm not sure you could have asked for a worse start to this 5-game opportunity. Completely dismantled by a team that's got several key guys out. Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, just to name a few. Like I said, 24-0 at halftime. Didn't even feel that close. The Bears in the first half got outgained 319-4. The Bears' 4 first-half yards was the lowest they've had in a half since at least 1991, according to the Fox broadcast. The defense continues to fall off a cliff. Some people during the watch party was like, they should have kept Eberflus for the defense. Well, yeah, you have fun with that. The defense has been trending south for weeks. Now, maybe it wouldn't have been this bad, but, who cares? He's not coming back next year, so keeping him doesn't help you. But somehow it was even worse. Couldn't stop. The next time they guard George Kittle will be the first time. Couldn't protect Caleb. He started slow, played a little better in the second half. The reason the passing yards are at 94 is because he took 7 sacks. I would say 4 or 5 of those on the O-line. He definitely took a couple he shouldn't have to. Just a mess, man. Just a mess. I did throw 2 touchdown passes to Odunze. That connection is kind of slowly, steadily building. So that's a positive. Thought Rome did some good things in the second half. He had 1 touchdown in the year coming in, had 2 today. So first one was a nice little corner route to the back pylon, perfect ball, perfect catch. Second one was kind of a fake slant and little stick route up the seam. Good job by Caleb to hit him there, but too little too late across the board. Caleb also had his first turnover in 6 weeks as he went to throw the ball, but he was about to rifle it. You could tell he was trying to pull it back. Ball came out, and while it was a throw, it went backwards. So the 49ers challenge won that. It was kind of just a fluky deal. For another game, this team can't run the ball. That's the one thing. Even though the offense has been better with Thomas Brown, they have not been able to run the football. Now, they've gone against some good running defenses, but DeAndre Swift, 2.7 yards per carry today. It's not good. Swift has had just this weird season. Started terribly, good in the middle, not good the last month. Offensive line getting pushed around. And I think what surprises me the most about today is just these players made it very clear what they wanted. They wanted Matt Eberflus gone. They did not believe in him anymore. Okay, he's gone. And by the way, I don't blame them. I agree with them. You come out and put that on tape, you come out and display that effort or lack thereof, I mean, I get it. The Niners played great. They're probably just better than you, all that stuff. The Niners have been getting their ass kicked the last couple of weeks. They've got key players out left and right. They just punked you. They embarrassed you. They pantsed you. You got your coach fired. Congratulations. Are the players going to step up and be like, you know what? We're not playing good enough. We're playing like shit. Because that's the truth. I'm not going to back off my stance that Flus had to go because he did. But at some point, some player has to stand there and say, you know what? This effort sucks. This execution sucks. We suck. We got to do something about it. And not only do they have to say it, they have to do it. Because all these players go to the media. They have their little radio shows and all this different stuff. And I like the player access. I'm not against it. But, this is an embarrassment, dude. I literally said it during the game. I would skip Christmas, and I have a 20-month-old if that meant we could get to the offseason. Because I don't even like watching this team anymore. It's not fun to watch. It can't be fun to play. I mean, these players, like, there's no way they're enjoying this. I mean, it's just an embarrassment. I have never seen, and by the way, sipping tea in London, this is the last game they won. They have not won a game since 8 weeks and counting, week 6 to week 14. Have not won a game since. They completely collapsed after the late sequence in Washington, which resulted in the Hail Mary and Eberflus's comments after. They have not recovered. I have never seen a team collapse based on a 2-play sequence and what the head coach said after. It's a joke. And this team is not a team. And I got some thoughts on the GM after this as well. Do have to get a word in from our sponsor, but Ryan Poles, Kevin Warren said he was safe. Is he? Should he be? We'll talk about that here in just a moment. All right, do want to shout out our sponsor, PrizePicks, first, though. We appreciate PrizePicks for sponsoring Chicago Bears Now. Daily fantasy made easy at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS. Pick 2 or more players in your DFS lineups with PrizePicks, and just take more or less on the stat projections that they provide for you. Passing yards, receiving yards, touchdowns, fantasy score, all kinds of stats available. Pick more, pick less. I had both Brock Purdy and Caleb Williams more on their passing yards. Caleb's didn't hit. Too bad of a first half once again. Purdy actually hit in the first half. He was fantastic. Ended up with 325. 5 to win 15 there. But you know what? I'm back on the saddle because with code CLNS, I got a $50 bonus when I played initially for just $5. So get started with PrizePicks today. Link is available at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Code CLNS gets you a $50 bonus when you play for just $5. Get started today with PrizePicks. All right. We got to talk about the GM. I'm not sure there's been a worse week for Ryan Poles. I guess worst 10 days for Ryan Poles into Detroit to now since he's been this team's GM. He watched his head coach fail again in crunch time in Detroit. He then had to fire him, along with Kevin Warren, whoever made that final decision. He looked like a sick puppy at the press conference. Like he looked like he was the 10-year-old and Kevin Warren was his dad. And then he watched his team gets dog-walked, and a lot of the players he's brought in here have seemingly regressed. I tweeted this out during the game. How many players on this team that were here last year have been better this year than they were last year? That number to me is very low. Very, very low. I think a couple have improved. Javon Dexter has certainly improved, although he's hit a bit of a wall recently. He has improved this year, no question about it. I think Darnell Wright has slightly improved, but he hasn't taken that big second-year jump you were hoping for out of your top 10 pick at offensive tackle. Kyler Gordon, who I actually thought sucked today, I actually think he's improved as well. He's had a pretty good year. Outside of that, who has improved? Because I'll go through some players who have regressed. DJ Moore, another drop today. He's played better in recent weeks, but he has regressed. Cole Kmet, another drop on the 2-point conversion today. He's had a lot of untimely penalties this year. I'm not going to say he's fallen off a cliff. The effort's been good, but at best he's the same. He's potentially regressed. You go down the list. Braxton Jones, regressed, I would say. At best he's the same. He was horrible today. Tevin Jenkins, okay, but I'd say he's regressed. Who else here? Someone was like, well, Jaquan Brisker's improved. We haven't seen him in 2 months. We haven't seen him since before this game. In the 5 games he played, he looked like an improved player, but I mean, that's been 9 weeks. Like, who has improved? Who has improved on this team? I'm trying to. Jaylon Johnson's regressed. Still a solid player. He has regressed. He got beat on a crosser from Deebo Samuel early in the game. Deebo's been terrible this year. He has regressed. TJ Edwards, regressed. Tremaine Edmunds, regressed. Montez Sweat, regressed. Think he's been banged up, but he's still regressed. Like, who's improved? I mean, DeMarcus Walker, he's probably about the same. I mean, Roshan Johnson, probably about the same. He was out again today. So, like, I'm not saying it's all in the GM. The coaches have to develop the players. Players have to improve. But, like, a lot of these guys you brought in here who arrows seemingly were pointing up last year, not many have improved. And even the ones that have, it's not like they've taken some massive step forward. I don't know, man. The more I think about Ryan Poles, And the more I think about the future, because this season is lost, we all know that, do you just fire the guy, fair or not, and say, we got to get head coach GM on the same page? Because I saw people in the live chat, give him one more year. So you're going to let him hire a coach, and if you don't like how the talent develops next year, fire the GM 1 year into that new coach. Like, a new coach does not want to be unaligned with the GM. I think this is going to be a big talking point the next month or so, because if this team continues to struggle down the stretch and there's not individual improvement from some of these players, I think the chances of him getting fired are real. I know Kevin Warren said he's not going anywhere. He's in charge of football ops. I think there's a real chance that it happens, because I just think it's risky. If you keep Poles, you have to line him with the new head coach, which means however long the new head coach is here, you have to give him at least that long. Like, is that even the way to go? Like, I don't know. You guys tell me. Why for yes and for no? Would you just fire him? Maybe it's not fair. Maybe it's not right. But, like, not everything in life is about what's fair, what's right. On paper, I like a lot of what he's done, but the bottom line is a lot of these players are not improving. He picked and stayed loyal to Matt Eberflus, at least to a certain extent. Like, I don't know. I keep saying I don't know because I don't, but it's bad right now, man. Who would have thought this team would be 4-2 at the bye and lose 7 straight games? I don't know what rock bottom is. Every time we think it's rock bottom, it somehow gets worse. It got worse again today. This team's a train wreck, man. They're an absolute train wreck, and I don't know who you can trust moving forward. I really, really don't. So it's unfortunate. I'm going to be here every step of the way. We'll probably do a video tomorrow wondering if it's time to just completely tank. So stay tuned for that. My name is Harrison Graham. Hit that subscribe button. We got you covered here on Chicago Bears Now. Boy, does this suck. Bear down.